The May 28th, 2019 special meeting of the Hawthorne City Council is called to order with all members present with the exception of Councilmember Hadar Awad. Mr. Clerk, please read the guideline. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by, who was that? By Councilmember Mike Tayeda.
I need somebody.
Sorry, man. That was your punishment.
Place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, so let me ask a question. Since we don't have nobody from the public, do we still have to go through this?
Yes, we do. We just have to always state this.
Because we're going to hear the same thing at 6 o'clock.
No.
Mr. Clerk?
Councilmember Montero, this is a brief version.
A version? Okay.
Yeah, but you will have more comprehensive detail because you are voting on it.
Okay. And we do have to have, out of courtesy, and I guess we've agreed that we would have this public meeting, so just, somebody might walk in halfway. And they are watching it on TV, so that is, we're meeting the requirement and
Yep.
reaching
Those kids.
people. Mr. Clerk, please read the guidelines for oral communications, please.
Pursuant to Government Code Section 5495.4.3, the public shall directly address the legislative body concerning items that have been described in the notice of special meeting.
Okay, I have no cards. Is there anybody who wishes to address the body? If not, I'll declare oral communications close ordered. At this time, I would like to call Finance Director Feliz Lopez to come up to the podium for her presentation.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, and thank you for our department heads for being here. I'm going to give you a brief summary of what will be much more detail in the meeting at 6 o'clock. Just for information purposes, there were 2 notifications put in the paper, end of February and beginning of March. There's a budget binder in the city clerk's office. There's a budget binder in the library, and the budget is also posted online on the finance department. Whoops. What happened? Okay, so overall, we show an increase in our expenditure budget for 2021 of about a decrease of about $2 million. Our proposed budget is for $80,290,643. I'll go through and just briefly let you know what those decreases and increases are at each department level. Stop me if you have any questions. For the City Council and Treasurer, we have an increase of about a decrease of about $11,000. This and most of the departments show a decrease due to a bond that was issued in October. So that is in the personnel area. For non-departmental, we show an increase of $700,000. This is, for the
Feliz?
most part, due to liability allocation.
Do you have that printout available with all these? Because they're not contained in the book. I think that's a standalone document.
I don't have a printout.
All right, so we'll need that in time for the meeting.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
council meeting.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
For Measure HH, we have an increase of $2 million, and that is due to an increase in the fire contract and an additional school resource officer, which is now being provided to the school district. For City Clerk, we show an increase of about $234,000. This is due to election cost now that the elections are being allowed, or the voters are being allowed to vote for 10 days. That increased the election cost from $100,000, which is the normal, to about $250,000. For the city manager budget, we show a decrease of $42,000, again, related to the bond issue, and a reduction in a part-time position. For city attorney, we show a decrease of $152,000, and again, it's going back to the bond issue. For cable, we show a decrease of $33,000 and same bond issue.
Bond issue as in, we're using money from that source?
POB that city council approved.
Yeah, so we're gonna be using money off of that, and it's gonna decrease our cost from the general fund, right?
No, we cannot use money from that. That was paid to CalPERS, but that reduced our payment obligation by a few $1 million a year. So that's where the saving is coming from.
Okay.
So all departments show that decrease. For the finance department, we show a decrease of $518,000. A part of that is for the bond issue, which is about $200,000, and the other portion is about $300,000, which was for the finance upgrade in the financial system. So in this coming year for 2021, we will not need that additional amount of money, so that's why there's a reduction. For human resources, we show a reduction of, or a decrease of $18,000, and that was a reduction in their contract services cost. For police department, we see quite a large decrease of $3.5 million. Most of that is due to the bond issue. Again, they have over 150 employees, where the rest of our departments have 5 to 10, maybe 50, including seasonal workers. So that's why they show such a drastic decrease. For Public Works, we have a decrease of $137,000, which is the bond issue, but also because, as you recall, Public Works employees work on different grants and street projects, so some of their salaries are budgeted from other restricted funds. For planning, there's a decrease of $230,000, and that again is related to the bond issue. For building and safety, it's a $114,000 decrease for the same reason. And for parks and recreation, we show a decrease of $270,000. Most of that is for the bond issue, but we also have a Measure A grant and a homelessness grant that was budgeted in this fiscal year that are not budgeted in the 2021. So overall, again, there's a $2 million decrease in the operating budget. Do you have any questions? Okay, so this is just the graph form. So by department, we show Public Works, Building and Safety, Park and Rec, and Planning at 12% of our budget, which is $9.6 million. Legislative and Administrative Services are $5.2 million, which is 7% of our budget. Legislative and Admin Services are Mayor, City Council, City Treasurer, City Clerk, Finance, Licensing, and Human Resources. For non-departmental, it's 11% of our budget, which is $9 million. Police services, we've broken it into 3 different sections. Police services are $37 million, which is 46% of our budget. Information technology, or IT, and 911 services are 6% of our budget, $5 million. And fire services is 18% of our budget, which is $14.1 million. Looking at it by category, personnel costs are 54% of our budget, $42.9 million, almost $43 million. Capital outlay isn't even a percentage, isn't even 1%, so it's $310,000. Operating transfers are 4% of our budget, which is almost $3 million. And retiree health and employee relations are $4.1 million, 5% of our budget. Operating expenses are 17% of our budget, which is $13.7 million. And contract services are 20% of our budget, which is $16.1, which of this contract services amount, $14.1 million is the fire services contract. Any questions? Okay, we're moving into our revenue, our proposed revenue, and our revenue is being projected at $80,396,180. This is about a $2 million increase. And I'll go through each one and just let you know why there were some increases and decreases. For taxes, as you know, we normally are very conservative in our estimates. Due to current events, we're being extra cautious. So taxes went up by 1.4 million. It would have probably gone up more, but we are being extra cautious in the TOT revenue that we're projecting. So we're at 57.9 million for taxes. Licenses and permits, we show a $229,000 increase, and this is due to construction permits. Fines and forfeitures remain the same at 2.8 million. Revenue from use of money, which is investment earnings, remains the same at $400,000. Internal governmental, which is VLF and state mandated costs, is increasing by $375,000 to 11.5 million, and that is the majority from vehicle license fees. Intergovernmental county, we show a decrease of 82,000, and again, that goes back to Measure A and homelessness grants that are in this current year budget but are not in the following budget. Service charges show a decrease of 153,000, and this is the majority of code enforcement fees. Other contributions, we show an increase of $320,000, and this is, for the most part, water contribution. Program contributions from Prop A, there's a decrease of $50,000. And program contributions from COPS, which is a community-oriented policing service grant, increased to $200,000. So overall, the entire city's revenue budget is $157,153,970, which is an increase of $2.8 million for this coming fiscal year. And again, we show the graph. Taxes are 72% of our budget at 57.9 million. Program contributions are 1% of our budget, which is 900,000. Miscellaneous revenue is $2 million at 3%. Charges for services is 3%, 2.3 million. Intergovernmental state is 14% at 11.5 million. Fines and forfeitures are 4% at 2.8 million, and licenses and permits are 3% of our budget, and it's $2.4 million. And that is all I have. Any questions?
When you say taxes, are you putting the sales tax and the property tax in
It's
one
all combined, yes.
one?
All the taxes that the city received are in that total.
Thank you.
The 14%, would you elaborate on that a little bit more?
The 14% intergovernmental state,
Yeah,
that's mainly vehicle license fees.
License fees?
Vehicle,
Vehicles?
Of course, a state give it in lieu. They took away our vehicle license completely, which was a lot more we used to receive, and they replaced it with in lieu vehicle license fee property tax, which is about 11 million for this?
It's at 11.5.
11.5.
So we're gonna be just ready for, we'll just talk about this more at the next meeting? Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You.
I guess if there's nothing else further from, city council?
No.
I'll adjourn the meeting. Okay.